"A bride for a spirit," a woman shouted. "Is that not the same as death?" "My daughter is pure," another cried, pulling her child behind her. "But she will not go." Some began to hide their daughters. Others argued that the gods had no right. But the sky remained dry. Chickens died. A toddler passed out in the heat. Mothers wept. One night, Adama went to the shrine alone. She knelt in silence, lit a small oil lamp, and placed kola nut on the ground. "If I can give something, anything," she whispered, "to save my people, let it be me." In a village cursed with silence and drought, where crops refused to grow and the rivers had forgotten their way, a young woman made a choice no one else dared. She didn't run. She didn't cry. She walked into the forbidden forest and offered her heart to a spirit. But what happens when a human marries the unseen? And what price must she pay to save the people who once rejected her? This is not just a story. It is a tale of sacrifice, love, and the power of a woman's courage in a world where the living fear the spirits. But one girl chose to love one. The village of Ezioko sat at the foot of the green Umu Hills, wrapped in the arms of thick forest and lazy rivers. It was a land of laughter, sweet palm wine, and red clay homes with thatched roofs. Roosters crowed before the sun. Drums spoke before mouths. Women sang as they pounded yam, and the children played hide-and-seek around old baobab trees. It was a good life. Adama, a young woman of just 18, carried a woven basket on her head and a smaller one in her arms. She walked barefoot through the ochre dust of the main path, nodding respectfully to elders and grinning at toddlers who waved at her. Her mother, Mema Tutu, waited at the market stall where they sold roasted groundnuts and dried pepper. "Hey, my daughter, how many times will I tell you to wear slippers?" Mema Tutu called as Adama approached. Adama smiled. "My feet are like the earth, Mama. They like to touch each other." Mema Tutu hissed. "One day the earth will slap you back." They both laughed. But behind Mema Tutu's laughter was worry. Crops hadn't grown well in weeks. The sky had turned dry and silent. Even the birds sang less. 3 weeks passed. Then 4. No rain. The river that once flowed beside the village shrank into a stubborn stream. Children stopped playing in the water. The well tasted of stone. The soil cracked like broken glass, and goats bleated through the night, hungry and thin. The chief of Ezioko, Chief Okafor, called a village meeting under the big tree. He stood on a stool while the elders sat on mats with serious faces. "We have seen hunger before," he began, "but this one walks like death in the open." The crowd murmured. Women shifted uneasily. Men scratched their beards. A baby wailed, and its mother hushed it with an empty breast. An old hunter stood up. "We should go to war against Ntehe village. Their river still flows. Why should they eat while we starve?" Another elder shouted, "No, this is not war. This is punishment from the gods." Adama, who had come with her mother, listened quietly. Something was wrong. Not just wrong with the sky, but with the spirit of the village. People were turning on each other. Fear had cracked their unity. Later that night, Adama lay on her mat and watched the stars through the holes in the roof. "Are you angry with us?" she whispered to the sky. "Or have we forgotten how to pray?" 2 days later, Chief Okafor and 2 elders tied raffia skirts around their waists and began the sacred journey to Mount Uloko. It was not a journey people made unless the world was cracking. At the top of that mountain lived the oracle Iyamin-Ma, a blind old woman who spoke with spirits. They crossed thick forests, riverbeds, and slept in trees to avoid wild animals. When they reached the top, Iyamin-Ma sat waiting. Her eyes were white stones. Her lips barely moved. "You came late," she said before they spoke. The chief bowed deeply. "Forgive us, Mother of Sight. The land is sick. The rain has died." The oracle dipped her fingers into a pot of ash and smeared a symbol on the chief's chest. "The forest spirit is angry," she said. "You have cut too much. You have forgotten the old ways. The spirits demand balance." Chief Okafor's voice trembled. "What must we do?" She whispered something the trees seemed to understand, because they suddenly went still. "A bride," she said. "A girl pure of heart. The spirit of the forest will take her. Only then will the sky weep again." When Chief Okafor returned and told the village what the oracle had said, fear spread like fire through dry grass. "A bride for a spirit," a woman shouted. "Is that not the same as death?" "My daughter is pure," another cried, pulling her child behind her. "But she will not go." Some began to hide their daughters. Others argued that the gods had no right. But the sky remained dry. Chickens died. A toddler passed out in the heat. Mothers wept. One night, Adama went to the shrine alone. She knelt in silence, lit a small oil lamp, and placed kola nut on the ground. "If I can give something, anything," she whispered, "to save my people, let it be me." The wind outside the shrine rose softly. The flame flickered but didn't go out. The next morning, the entire village gathered in the square. The chief explained the oracle's message once again. No one moved. Not a single girl stepped forward. Silence. Then one voice rose. "I will go." Heads turned. People gasped. It was Adama, dressed in her simple wrapper and beads, her head held high. Mama Tutu screamed. "No. You will not. They will not take you." Adama held her hand gently. "Mama, if I go, the rain will come. We will eat. You will live." The chief's eyes filled with tears. He shook his head. "Child, do you understand what you are offering?" "I do. Let the spirit have me. Let the rain return." The village stared at her. Some bowed their heads. Others wept. For 7 days, Adama was treated like royalty. The women of the village bathed her with scented herbs in the river. They sang songs of farewell, their voices heavy with sorrow. They dressed her in white cloth, tied coral beads around her wrists, and painted her feet with red camwood. On the 7th night, a great fire was made in the center of the village. Drummers played. Dancers moved like wind. It was both a celebration and a funeral. Mima Tutu sat in silence, her face turned to the ground. When the drums stopped, Chief Okafor led a small group into the forest. Adama walked behind him, barefoot, her heart pounding. They reached the sacred tree. It was older than time, its roots deep as truth. They left her there, alone. The forest was still. No crickets, no owls. Just the slow hum of ancient trees breathing in the dark. Adama stood beneath the sacred tree, her heart beating like a drum. The night was warm, but her skin prickled with chills. Then, the wind shifted. Leaves rustled, not like before. This was a different sound. Heavy. Intentional. Alive. A glowing light began to rise from the base of the tree. It pulsed like a heart. From it stepped a figure, tall, cloaked in a robe of woven light and shadow. His feet did not touch the ground. His face shimmered like a reflection on water. "Adama," the voice said, calm and deep like a drum echoing from a cave. "You came willingly." She swallowed. "For my people." The spirit nodded slowly. "Then you shall not die. You shall transform." The tree behind him opened like a mouth of light, and without touching her, he lifted Adama into the air. Her wrapper unwrapped itself gently. Her feet glowed. Her body began to float into the open tree, into a realm no human had ever returned from.